G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. How are we all doing on this lovely, lovely morning? It is an oddity when I'm out and about in the AMs, but I figured it's time to do a cheeky video. And on a topic that obviously, as a motovlogger boy, I do more than, I'd say, the average person would. And that is, ladies and gents, about recording your ride and should you do it? Alright, so before we get into this, ladies and gents, g'day, my name's Nathan and I record videos about motorbikes and such. And if you enjoy the content, leave a comment down below and drop a sub, and always a like is appreciated. Anyway, let's boogie. So, ladies and gents, should you record your motorbike rides? That person was going right into the curb there. Now, like I said, as a motovlogger, I record quite a lot of my riding nowadays purely because, well, I should be, hey? Content is content, and the more the merrier. But as a non-motovlogger, I definitely recommend, I love people who just dump their garbage on the side of the road. I recommend that you should do it purely for the fact of safety. Now, if you're wondering what the hell that means, look, when you're motovlogging, you're actively recording your ride, sort of like a dash cam. And if I need to make the argument for why a dash cam is a good idea, my brother in Christ, you have not been on the road long enough. So, having the camera on you at all times is a little bit more intuitive than a dash cam in some aspects, not all. Because obviously a dash camera either records inside the car, behind the car, front of the car, whereas a GoPro records exactly where you're looking. So if you're just chilling at a set of lights and you get rear-ended, the camera will not turn on randomly, so you got to be recording at all points of your ride. So if you're doing longer rides, a GoPro perhaps isn't your move. You probably get one of those other cameras that can record longer, but you can install different kinds of cameras on your motorcycle, but then you got to worry about people pinching them and stuff, although most people don't know what the hell's going on with motorbikes. If they're going to pinch something, they'll probably just pinch the whole thing. Realistically, like, come on now, most people don't know jack about bikes, and that's evident with how people treat the laws, because they don't know what the hell's going on. But having the GoPro attached to your face if you're doing more commuting rides and you're not taking 6-hour commutes here and there, I think you can get away with it. Now, if you're doing a long commute, you might need to bring a second battery, but if you have a big enough memory card, guess what, chief? Anything is possible. So, when you're having your GoPro on you at all times, what that essentially does is help you feel a little bit more confident in your motorcycling. Not because of it makes you better in any sense, but if anything does happen, accident-wise, you really know if that quote-unquote meme of biker's fault is at play here, because guess what, kids? When you have proof, it changes everything. So in a lot of cases, people always do that thing where that meme of it being the biker's fault, because in a lot of those cases, it is. Now, the reason I say that is, like I said last time in a few videos before this, if you watch the compilations of near misses, accidents and whatnot, a lot of the crashes and whatnot are purely the biker's fault. I don't care what you say. Going 180 zone, or if you're talking in miles, it'd be like going 60 miles in a 30 zone, alright? Sure, it's fun until that guy pulls out in front of you, and then you have the audacity to yell at them or punch the mirror like my brother or sister. You caused the problem. And if you didn't ride like an absolute dipshit, you wouldn't be in this dilemma to begin with, and then bam, you wouldn't have had the near crash. But what would I know, alright? I've only been riding for a few years now with plenty of near misses under my belt, and I tell you what, when you follow the law, you have a lot more near misses than you have accidents. And I'd rather have a brown moment than an oh shit bang moment, you know what I mean? But anyway, the point being that I'm saying is, if you have the GoPro on you at all times, you are always recording. So if you do have an accident, guess what? You're going to be able to record, and you're going to have easy proof of fault. Now, obviously, if you're doing the hyperview and stuff, the camera certainly makes the cars look further in front of you, but I think a lot of people realize this as is, because the hyperview makes the cars in front of me look much further away than they are, which is, look, it can be annoying. So if you're purely doing it for dashcam style recording, if you do it with the less stretched view, I'm sure it doesn't look as ridiculous with the less fisheye. But that's just the joys of the GoPro, man. So I think a lot of people have realized that the action cameras have that objects in mirror are closer than they appear sort of feeling, because it's true, the objects in the camera are closer than they typically appear. And look, a lot of people in the comment sections of these videos clearly don't pay attention, because in the, the Moto Madness or whatever the hell those YouTube channels are always like, well, the car looks so far away, why would you just brake? And you're like, no. It looks far away, but believe me, it's only like a little bit in front of me. Let's see if I can talk about this. This car in front of me might be like maybe 10, 20 meters ahead of me. So, look, let's hold on, this is about here. There we go, maybe that's about 7 meters, it's not much. And then everyone goes, no, you're really, really close, like I'm just behind the car now. So, however it looks on the camera, obviously I'm right beside it now, but it looks closer to me than it does in the camera. So that's the one downside about the cameras. But there's really only one reason for the should I recommend a camera, and that's absolutely because it's safer. Now, the benefit of always having a camera is not purely for dash cam reasons, but it helps you document your riding. Now, one of the unspoken things about recording is being able to re-watch yourself and get better. Alright, you don't need to talk about it because it's obvious. If you're watching yourself ride over and over again, even if you don't do it intentionally, you might watch yourself do something, you're like, ugh, that was a bit shit, wasn't it? Like, I've watched myself back at older vlogs and I've like gone too fast to corners at the wrong angle, and you're like, what are you doing, dipshit? You could have had an accident there. And then just by nature, you tend to improve slower and slower and slower. And that's a good thing, because like, look, if you see yourself doing the stupid, you're more likely to not do the stupid. So if you like record yourself flying down the road and you almost hit someone or something, you're probably going to be more inclined to not try and do that later on, because you're like, last time I did that, bad things almost happened, or last time I took this corner, I took it this side and it was bad. And then you watch your video back to double check which way you did it, and then you go, I can see how that went wrong. There is a lot of oil spillage in this lane here. And dude, it's just simple things like that makes a big difference, because now you're not going to be like inclined to just send yourself into oblivion for certain things, because it's common. People do stupid shit and they don't correct themselves, so they don't learn. So if you have it documented, you might be able to actually improve yourself just ever so slightly. You know what I mean? Another good benefit of these recordings, man, is purely entertainment reasons. And that is, you get to show people what you're doing. Now, I know a lot of people might not give a damn, but if you have friends and family that are interested in your stuff, you can be like, well, this is a ride, have a look and suss what I did over here. I went to this place, this place, and this place. Look at this view, look at this, look what I saw, this, that, now. And there's a select amount of people that will find that shit interesting. And I think that's one of the cool things about it. And if you have access to the videos when you go talk to other riders that are interested in the same thing, you'd be like, oh, look at this place I ended up seeing. And they'll be like, that's kind of cool. This is a place I did. So you can mutually share your rides together. All right. Now, I like recording all the time for my rides now because of habit. So I'm used to it. It might be a bit strange the first few times you do it. You might forget to do it. You might not like it, you might not set it up correctly. Like if you set up the GoPro the way I have the GoPro set up currently, and you don't have an ND filter on it, all you're going to see is a washed out mess. It's going to be bright as hell. So you might follow a tutorial how to set up your camera and you do it wrong. Well, that's okay. It's the joys of learning how to do something. So it might take a little bit to get it correct. You might buy something shit and have to upgrade, but that's the nature of technology. If you're not looking to do motovlogging style stuff or recording your rides for the sake of enjoyment, you're purely just safety reasons, well then you don't need to spend shitloads of money on a nice GoPro. You can just buy the Hero 4 from years and years ago and it'll do fine. I think it still does 1080p. Like, you don't have to get the best thing around as long as it works, baby. And that's a lot of YouTubers still basically do that, from what I hear. A lot of them still use the old Hero 4s because they're cheap and easy to replace. You don't need a Hero 11, which I bought when it was new, and by when I say me, I mean my girlfriend was lovely and bought me a present because she was like, do the motovlogs with a better camera, Nathan. And I was like, oh yay. But dude, I'm telling you, it's a wonderful sort of habit to get into. And also, if you do enjoy how the camera stuff is, had to do that as a bridge, you might actually end up finding you want to start doing motovlogs. Now, look, motovlogs are not something I recommend everyone should do, because not everyone can do the old talking and riding easily. And look, the thing is, when you start doing the old motovlogging, you will find you're going to start blanking. Ooh, moo-moos over there. And realizing that you're not talking as clearly as you could. You might not focus on the road as much. And that's a common thing to start doing when you start motovlogging, because you're not used to talking and riding. And like, especially if you're a newer rider, there's quite a lot you're focusing on. You're focusing on the car in front of you, the cars beside you, things behind you. You don't want to get rear-ended. You're focusing on what you're doing, if you make sure you're doing it right, if you're shifting correctly, if you're braking at the right points. Is this happening? Is this weather? You know, all the things all bikers focus on by nature, especially the longer you ride, the more second nature it is. But now, if you're doing it, like I started motovlogging when I was relatively new into riding, and I don't recommend people to do that, honestly, because you really feel your lack of experience when you start motovlogging when you haven't got much experience, just from the way you ride and the things in the habits you're doing. All right, now if you've got a bit more experience, you might find, like I said, you're just blanking on words here and there, but that's just because it's you're not trained, man. You're not trained. You get a skill, you got to train yourself, brother or sister. Practice makes it all better. you might find that that's a lovely little thing you get into. Now, you might not even have to do it like as consistent as I did. I was doing 3 videos a day for a few years now. And you might even do a video a week or one a month, just as long as you're enjoying yourself. That's the idea of this whole thing, alright? You don't need to make sure you're flying through content creation. That's just not how making stuff works. Anybody can tell you that. Creation only really happens when you feel like doing creation. I should have been faster. Now I'm stuck in a set of lights. Oh well. But dude, I absolutely recommend you start recording your rides. It doesn't have to be for content, it doesn't have to be for protection. You might just want to document your rides you go on for your own personal collection. And guess what? That's beautiful. And you can do that if you do it yourself. Now, I wish this video was sponsored so I could send you off to a link to cameras, but I use a GoPro. The GoPro's never let me down. You could use the old DJI, the new things that everyone's using now. There's another one. Insta360s are pretty common. Up to you. There's a lot of options. Do your research. The options when I started getting into the GoPros weren't as common, so GoPro was sort of still the meta. Nowadays, it's a little more all over the place, but if GoPro wants to sponsor me, I will kiss their feet, as it were. Oh, dude. Just also, be careful, ladies and gents, this is a word of healthy advice. If you do plan on starting to record your rides, and then you get pulled over, the first thing these cops like to do is ask you for the SD card. Now, I don't know what it's like in every other country. I know in Australia they like to do this. So if you're recording your spirited ride through the mountainside, doing your illegal speeds and enjoying yourself and the bike, and then all of a sudden take a corner and a cop pulls out and you're like, ah, shit. If you can't get out and throw that SD card off into the distance or hide it on your person, not that I'm telling you this is legal advice, believe you me, that is not what I'm saying. But if they catch you with that SD card and they get a hold of it, they will use it against you. And boy, oh boy, will they smile blissfully, or words that I can't pronounce properly or think of right now. But they will smile with glee, alright? Their teeth will be glistening and their evilness shall be felt because of you and your silliness to decide to record all of your foolish endeavors. So just be careful if that is what you're planning to do, because guess what? They can and they will use it against you. Alright? But ladies and gentlemen, that's my 2 cents. Like I said, I think you should record for more reasons than one. I've given you a whole bunch of them. It's up to you to decide now. And if it's purely out of the budget, I understand. These bloody cameras, they can be a little bit pricey. Now, I know some of the older models are a bit cheaper, but, you know, a lot of people don't want to buy old stuff. They want to buy the new stuff, so understandable. So if you don't really want to spend the money, fair dinkum, mate. But if you want to enjoy yourself, record your rides for more reasons than one, smoko boys, I'd recommend it. Get out there, record your rides, enjoy yourself, and such and such. But without further ado, that's all I have time for. So I do hope you enjoyed today's video. I do hope you take something from it. Leave a comment down below what your thoughts on the matter as always. Otherwise, take it easy, keep it cheesy, ride safe, and you know I love you. Peace, bye!